Hello and welcome back to Strangetopia. And today, we've kind of got our world modernized a little bit. Slowly been walking into the modern age. And all today's going to be about really is just getting everything upgraded as much as possible, within reason. Taking all the medieval stuff out of the equation, getting everything modernized, and also getting a surplus of materials here in order to get into space. I've noticed that the Cosmodrome wasn't filling up with the supplies I need. It may be a bug, so we may never get off this planet, but I like to have faith in it, and I hope that hopefully it will. Let me go try and find it here, this planet. Yeah, so I've been sitting on this for like half an hour and nothing's getting loaded, so that may be a bug that maybe I have to destroy the Cosmodrome, rebuild it, and try again. Something like that. I'll give that a little while. I'm in no rush to get to the moon, but I would really like to have that ready and in the chamber so when we do decide to go, it's just done. A couple things I've done around my spaceport as well is I've got an individual depot for pretty much all the really important materials, and as these grow I kind of want these to get really filled up, and that way as soon as I order it from the spaceport they don't have to go very far to actually load up stuff. Another thing I've been doing as well is making medieval iron mines into builder bots. So I'm trying to build up a builder bot army before I get anywhere. Hopefully that doesn't glitch out on me again. Last run through I had, they just stopped making builder bots on Mother Planet. It was just, there was no reason for it. I had all the materials and all the labor and all that stuff, and they just would not populate anymore. So, Kevin gonna help us today? You gonna help make builder bots? Appreciate it. Thanks, man. But other than that, all I'm doing right now is just kind of picking away at upgrades. I just want to get everything, especially the medieval stuff, at least get it modernized, if not spacified. I don't know. Super modern, whatever you want to call it. So that's going to be my focus for the next couple hours, is just picking away and making sure that everything old becomes new. And yeah. And also what I'm going to try and work on as well is my tree population here is very, very low. I'm using an oxygen generator right now, but I don't really want to be using oxygen generators because that's just consuming more gas and electronics than necessary. I've got 2 of them on the planet, and right now I'm at 98%, so I don't need to run another one. I don't think it's effective. Yeah, come on, Kevin. Azuri, how you doing today? Welcome back. I've been building lots and lots of the Sleepy Springs sanctuaries, and I'd say over half of them are turned off right now. I'm just not using them particularly because I will use them as I need them, but I am not needing them until this starts dropping down. The pollution rate starts dropping down to, you know, below 3 or 4%. Then I'll turn on more parks to counteract that. But at this point in time, they're more just placeholders, and they look nice. With all the mines that I've been using, I only assign 2 nuggets per mine, whether it be oil or gas or iron or anything like that. And all I've been doing is really trying to keep an eye on my production versus consumption. And as long as I have just slightly higher amount of production on all my materials, then I'm not particularly worried. So right now, iron's something I have to work on. Now, I have placed a few iron mines around. So let's take a look here at my iron mines. And the ones that are off are empty. The ones that are not. So I'm going to go and turn these guys into builder bots. Possibly, yep. So this one's empty, so that's just going to be a builder bot. This one, see, so that becomes a builder bot as well. So the next ones, basically, I'm just going to assign a couple nuggets to each one. So now that I have 2 working in each, once they get running, and I'll wait for a second for the game to adjust and them getting into place. But I want to see how much more iron I'm producing off that. If I'm still not producing enough, then I'll add a few more. But I never want to be in the negative, because obviously that means eventually we're going to run out, and you know it's inevitable. We're starting to run to about half capacity at the oil, and iron's at 3/4. But I don't want to leave myself in a major lurch of running out completely out of oil before we get to the moon, to the other planets. So it's going to be that balance of whether I'm doing everything, upgrading everything on Mother Planet before we go to space, or trying to find that happy medium of going to space before we run out of all the materials that are necessary to continuously make materials. That being said, I'm trying to stockpile all my modern stuff, because I just want to have enough that even if we do run out of oil, probably not gas, but just oil is going to be the major one. So I can start sending more iron and oil and gas back to Mother Planet from all the planets we're populating. So yeah. Other than that, I hope everybody's having a good day. It's rainy and gray and kind of cold over here, so this is a pretty good day to stay indoors and do this. And I'm really torn between upgrading these into a space age eatery, only based on the fact that I really love this design of these eateries. I think this is an aesthetic that I really, really like, and I wish there was kind of more buildings that were designed like this. I think the space age one looks way too cartoony. I mean, a lot of things do. It's, you know, it's not meant to mimic real life here or nothing, but those eateries I think are probably like one of the nicely designed. It's those and the universities. Just look absolutely gorgeous. As far as the rest of, you know, this is you look beside it, and never noticed the broken windows before, but you look beside it to the warehouses, and it just looks so cartoony compared to this. This university, I think, looks awesome, and I wish there was more architecture like this in the game. And maybe one day when they open it up to the community, because I'm putting that out there in the universe, that they will open this up to the community. And when they do that, I hope that, you know, certain aesthetics become a little more commonplace. Because yeah, those ones, I don't know. It's just like a perfect amount of realism and cartooniness, where a lot of the buildings, space age especially, are just a little too cartoony for my taste. We'll get there. I'll upgrade them eventually, because, you know, it's just part of the playthrough. But and Night Raven, welcome in. Welcome. Night Raven coming in hot with a little baby male nugget. Get the last names going on. Go, and Missouri. I think you've been alive for a while, so you might still have a last name from the last stream. No, you don't. Okay. Stop fighting me, game. There we go. All right. Cool. And we're doing pretty good on oh well. We're doing pretty good on laborers right now. Still have 181 left. It seems to be holding pretty fast around 1300 at this point in time, so we might have to do some mating fests and stuff. But what I'm focusing on right now is getting enough points. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 creator points in order to start planting more trees. I really, really want to get my tree thing sorted before anything else. And as always, I'm trying to fit neutral nuggets or nuggets without Highlander traits into buildings, because I want the Highlanders to be free laborers, so when they have nothing to do, all they do is mate. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'm plugging away slowly. Our believer count is slowly going up as the Highlanders continue to believe in me, because that's a permanent sort of fixture on the planet. And they are growing pretty well. The education system seems to be working quite nicely as well. Yeah, I'm going to need more unemployed eventually, but right now it's pretty balanced, where if I have over 100 of them, I think I'm okay. You know, with buildings like this, I don't really need these refineries anymore, based on the fact that I have a few of the upgraded ones and we're making enough planks and bricks to get by, which I need to be careful of, but because of the trees, right? So it's that balance there where I make the planks and the bricks because those are the best things to trade the exile villages. And let's go find the exile villages. So my plan worked for what we did in the Stone Age, of by encapsulating these guys with defense towers and all my other stuff. Sure, they hate us, but they can't grow any military now. They can't grow, they can't put an airport down, they can't put tank barracks or helicopters or anything like that. So it doesn't really matter if they're angry at us, because they got no chance in attacking us. Anytime they do, well, we just shoot them down with towers. So yeah, maybe every once in a while they'll send a bomber out or something like that, and that's fine, because we can deal with it. We've got enough capacity to deal with that right now. I'd like to find the one that made me laugh. Let me try and find these guys. So I expected them to be small little cities. I didn't expect this though. That's got to be one of my favorite things I've seen in this game in regards to exiles. They have one building. That's all they got. They're still producing a mass amount of stuff to trade, which we'll trade with right now. I'm getting overwhelmed with food, so I'll try and just trade a bunch of food for stuff right now. I'm not going to go balls to the wall if I don't need 4,000. Let's see if, yeah, 2,222 will work fine. So I'll keep trading like that. And but yeah, this made me happy, where my plan worked better than expected. I thought they were going to have, like, you know, a small little cluster of buildings like the other ones, but yeah, they just go one tower, 30 people live in it, and that's it. Can you even call it a town at that point in time? District. The Nugget District. Their dome is still strong, but because we built so early on that we build inside the dome, and basically, yeah, they're trapped. They can't do anything besides kind of watch the world and, yeah, what a nightlife. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that little experiment worked like gangbusters, of how these exiles get limited, and basically we've effectively taken warfare out of the game again, which I know there's a very mixed bag of opinion on the warfare, where a lot of people just didn't really need it or care for it. And I guess if you don't want to have warfare, make sure that in the Stone Age, or at least the medieval age, you get your way over to the other exile villages and you surround them with your defenses, and then you just never have to worry about it again. And then it goes back to what they were originally before the warfare updates, and it's just a trading post. In this case, it's very literally just a singular trading post. But yeah, I thought I'd share that with you, because that's a little thing that I thought was really, really cool how that worked out. I didn't know how it was going to work in the modern age. I thought maybe they would start attacking constantly because they were so pissed off. But yeah, we've taken away their ability to fight. Kind of clipped their wings in that sense. That's probably how I'm going to try and play most of my playthroughs going forward as well, is, yeah, just making sure that before I go into modern age, those cities are completely surrounded. And really, I think we have like a total of, like, each town has what, 25, 30 nuggets in it of exiles. So we have less than 100 exiles on this planet. So no matter what they do, I don't think they can take us on. Another thing I've been doing as well is with my clone center. Just try and find it here. Where is clone center? Oh, I have one. Yeah, there it is. With my clone center, I've been doing this for a bunch of years now. But I'm basically just cloning Ricks. I'll try and get up to maybe 100 or so, depending on really how I feel. And every time I release 5 Ricks, I'm just going to go back in. So we're at 40, so this one's going to be Rick 41. And every once in a while, maybe I'll make a modified one. But for now, I just make a whole bunch of Ricks, and I give them the last names of their dimension. And that really helps me trace all their lines. So I'll always know what family these are coming from at a very quick glance by giving them a dimension for their last name, sort of thing. I do wish that the clone center just kept settings so I could just keep rinsing and repeating and renaming, but that's not how it goes. Yes, another Rick army. And I'm not going really heavy on this because I'm trying to save all these chemicals for space travel as well. Again, I'm trying to get up like thousands and thousands of space age and modern age materials accrued, so that way when we do get up to the moon and we get it up to other places, we can build them up relatively quickly. And I just have to be careful with my oil consumption, my gas consumption, and everything else, because I don't want to run out before we have the capability of getting into space and doing more transport and more trade between planets. But that'll be sort of the trickiness to it. But again, today is more just about upgrades, more about making sure that I have enough materials for everything. Generally, I should just pay attention to what I'm doing, because I'm trying to build out this forest. Every time I hit 1,000, I want to make sure I spend pretty much all of it. And I'm trying to overwhelm them, because any point in time where I'm planting trees around a city, they're going to keep cutting them down, and they're super efficient at it. But if I do overwhelm them with so many trees that they can't, I think there's a point in time that they just give up. They're just like, okay, whatever. We're going to have a nice looking, not barren city. But as you can tell, somebody gets immediately on it. These laborers just get immediately on chopping wood for not any particular reason right now. We don't need that much wood. There's no demand for it. My plank system maybe is getting a few, but hopefully that's something that gets fixed in the future for that fight, because if we have our lumber camps, which I have 3 of, then like, why would they ever need to cut down any wood based on the fact that we are growing it? Thanks for the wood. But yeah, I'm trying to make sure everything's balanced, but I'm not going overkill on anything. Especially with food, with steel, like, because of the iron right now, I'm still at 11.1, so I'm going to adjust that number up. I'm going to make sure get 3 people. Nope. Try and fill each mine with 3 nuggets instead, and that brings me up to 16.7. So now we're back in the positive here. I understand that. Thank you for the wood. I think we're in positive territory for all things right now. And it's not like I'm not going heavy on this because I'm really not trying to drain all the oil. I just want enough oil that I'm accumulating it slowly over time, and I've got 10 units up. So eventually I will have, you know, hopefully thousands in the bank, which I can convert into the steel, or into the steel is iron and gas. But for electronics and chemicals, plastics, like we need oil for a lot of things. And these obviously take steel and chemicals, so that's basically all kinds of materials all being funneled into this. Keep these lakes nice and full. I'm gonna give my my bots the power to have guns as well. Having law enforcement as robots, it's pure RoboCop sort of deal. They catch criminals a lot faster, and we are pretty low on criminals right now at 25. I'm not sure if there is even a way to negate that. I'm gonna try. I just took him out of a metal mine. I'm not sure if that... Yeah, well, that one we don't need anymore. That's a good gas mine. Keep putting neutral nuggets or nuggets without the immortal trait into all these jobs. That's another thing I wish that happened, is that we didn't have to filter every single time. Like, just leave it on that filter. Yeah. It's a difficult ask, I suppose, is some of these things that refresh every time you close the screen. Not a big fan of that. It's all coming together nicely. Just taking my time on upgrading too. I'm not trying to upgrade everything all at once. Because of the power and the water hits and everything. But once we got the hydro colliders in, these guys, and our space age pumps that work through the winter, everything was kind of golden. And I'm keeping it around 1,000 up for the spring. And we'll see exactly what I'm losing, but I have enough space age pumps where even when everything's frozen, we still have a few hundred minutes left. Slowly just upgrading everything. And I think the plan is just like this whole playthrough is being just low and slow. I'm not trying to rush anything. I'm not trying to get to space fast, because now that we know how space kind of works, you know, sure, I could try and get the planet cracker and stuff like that, but I just don't care. You know, it doesn't. That's not how I'm trying to play the game, where I'm not trying to crack planets effectively. I'm not trying to use this thing to destroy any planets, because every planet can be a hub. Every planet can have a spaceport, and the more spaceports I have, the more transport I have, and the more effective the entire transport system goes. I am trying to build up a lot of storage as well, but I do wait until warehouses are near full. Yeah, low and slow. Like a good pasta sauce. Take your time, and it'll come together. A lot of immortals happening there. So we are in winter, just out of curiosity. I do have, this is a redundant engineer, so I don't have to assign everybody. We just had one of those little glitches recently of, okay, so I got an enforcer here. Like, I had one time where, you know, this whole area just, engineers just decided not to work. So I got all my enforcers. There we go. So once I only have 5 nuggetoids, and these nuggetoids are going to be going up to the moon on our first travel, or our second travel, because again, I don't even know if this Cosmodrome is going to work this time, unfortunately. Where it's kind of always something with this game. It's always like, okay, we've got it all organized in the way I know it should work, and then it doesn't. Like, super slow. It is. They're trickling in, you know, but it's excessively slow compared to what I would expect for the amount of materials that we do have and how quick it actually takes for everything else to grow. But that's fine. Again, I'm in no rush for any of this. Got Foxville demanding resources. Need 2,000 food. No, it's okay. And after I got the solar panels in, we really the generation got really nice on power. So what I'm trying to do is I'm making sure that every part of this planet has some solar panels, and that way, no matter where it's day, we're always generating at least a little bit of power. Always keeping an eye on my pollution down here. I want to bet that this is the same area. Let's see where my engineers are and why they're not fixing this. So I will get somebody in here to fix this, maybe a workaholic. And yeah, tower guards don't need to be workaholics. But for now, we'll fix this guy up, and I might just build another redundant engineers here. No harm in it. And plus, it finally makes that road happen, so I'm happy with that. Effectively, I need, because I have 15,000 trees right now, I need 24, so I need like 9,000 creator points in order for this planet to be populated. So anytime on the votes and everything, I'll get religious focus going on, because we're done with research, give or take, except for our ministries that we never use. I'll just kill off the rest of the research that I can find. I suppose hyperloops would be a thing too, I guess, but this planet is so jam-packed that there's not a lot of space for hyperloops anymore. And I don't mind it, because everything's efficient enough that I don't really need it, but we'll try and find places to shoehorn it in. See if anything will help with logistics of transport. I haven't given the Nuggets cars or any vehicles. Everybody's still running around. And based on the sheer volume and the way everybody's super spread out on the planet, I don't know if we'll need hyperloops for this particular planet. You know, maybe a couple for aesthetic purposes, but there's no real reason for them on this one, because we have people everywhere. And I think a majority of these buildings are full. Sometimes we'll get these, right? And we'll wait for expansion in order to get more nuggets in them. But yeah, all I want to do here today is make sure all my stuff is upgraded, everything's balanced. I have like tons and tons of water, tons of defense. So especially with the defense, where I don't need UFOs, or I don't need to shoot down UFOs with CP, I would rather have my defense towers take them down. And that's interesting. I don't remember unassigning anybody from chemical plants, but maybe that was because I reassigned somebody. I'm not sure. Kind of curious. But how many chemicals am I making right now? I have 8 up, but I will assign a couple in one of these plants, keeping an eye on it if I do start dropping down. And I try and do it in, like, at this point in time, it's in the thousands, right? So if I'm dropping down below 2,000, I know that I need to play catch up. But if I'm constantly accumulating, then I don't really need to assign anymore, because that's just kind of wasting more resources than I need. I'm just trying to find that really nice balance where I'm not taking a ton of resources, but even since we started, I've taken 3,000 more units of oil out of the planet. So that's something I do have to be very aware of if I don't want to basically make this planet useless before we get to space, before we get to more resources, an infinite amount of resources. If we have an infinite universe, and we can always find oil and iron and gas on other planets, then as soon as we get up there, then we're golden. But I am in no rush to get up there. Just kind of want to make this whole place look... I don't want to see any more of these little green updaters anywhere. And I'm going to get rid of these, because I just don't need them. That'll be another good place for solar panels or more parks. You know, basically everything that I'm doing now is I'm looking to populate the rest of the planet with just the stuff that we need. And these parks are... it's a replacement for trees at this point in time, because they keep cutting down trees. But we're accumulating enough creator points now that I can hopefully overwhelm them to the point where they just throw up their hands like, fine, have trees. I have done it before, and I know it's a possibility. It's just because of how much of a spread of this planet we've gotten to, it's just been a little more difficult than normal. Because usually I'll have a big national forest that's ever growing on an opposite side of the planet, but technically we don't have an opposite side on this particular planet. We're just everywhere. Because yeah, we're producing a ton of wood off of these lumber camps, or somewhere at least, because I mean, these don't seem to be producing anything. But it's telling me that somewhere on this planet we are producing a ton of wood. Oh shit. Let's not go with the gym ban. I don't want to do that. So yeah, food for all is going to be what we got, and we can support a food for all vote right now. It'll actually be good for us because that'll take some of our stock down. That's pretty rare to say. Usually, you know, most of the time I always dread that food for all vote, because, you know, you watch your resources dwindle very quickly, especially with 1,300 nuggets on the planet. But for this particular run through, it's working pretty well. And all the farms, even if I don't go space age farms on everything, the modern farms work right through the winter, so I don't have to worry about that. You have to keep an eye on this tornado. I don't have anybody in the barracks, but I'm just upgrading them again, just for getting everything out of medieval. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this tornado to come through before I plant another chunk of that forest, just to make sure that I have enough points to trap it in some protective domes wherever it does arise. And we're only a few minutes out on the tornado there. And we'll kind of keep weaving back and forth, seeing that there's just literally thousands of things to upgrade at this point in time. I'll just do it little bits at a time, focusing on the water mainly. Because we have such an influx of water, I can just keep storing more and more and more, and hopefully we get, you know, I would love to have like 100k worth of water. I think that might be slightly unreasonable, but to have so much in store that we can turn off pumps until we get down to, you know, a half rate or something like that. That in turn will save us more chemicals. That'll save us more materials of trying to fill these lakes constantly. Okay, 4 minutes till this tornado. So let's see where that spawns. I think sometimes the devs have done something nice with the tornado spawning, where most of the time it spawns in a blank area that's like not right on top of the building. And because we have so much coverage, that most of the time I've been seeing them form on lakes. I can't say that's going to be true for every time, but for this particular time, yeah, we should. I want to see if this does go near a lake, because I think it does, based on the fact that it's got nowhere else to spawn. All right, 2.5 minutes. And the fact that I'm doing really good on prep meals as well, I have more than my population. I don't really feel a need to upgrade all these eateries to modern. Or space age, I should say. There we go. One of the last barracks done. Ministry of Space. Something we will never, ever use. Iron's got a good influx. We're getting a little close on oil, so I might need to put another oil jack down. And that's getting a little trickier. I do have a little surplus in this line here. Not a lot, a few thousand, but I might have to just start picking away at my forest. And I don't mind that particularly, because we're gonna get rid of these oil jacks eventually. And I should have engineer coverage on that already. So we'll just let that go. It does need to be an eatery out here though somewhere. I'm trying to avoid roads. Okay, so let's see where this spawned. It did not. It spawned near a lake. Not on a lake, but near a lake. That being said, let's see. I'm gonna try and boot it out there before it does too much damage, but it's gonna knock some stuff down, and we'll rebuild it. Give it a little path to take. Rebuild those guys. Rejuvenate that. And hopefully that just set it out to sea again. You never know with these things though, they could take any direction they want. But yeah, it does appear that it's generally only going to form near water or near a blank spot. I gotta imagine it formed there, and you know, me paying attention then forgetting in the last 30 seconds that we have a tornado coming. Pretty standard stuff. And done. Alright. Couple buildings down. No major issues there. Okay, so with the rest of these points, let's go back to that forested area. And I'm going to keep trying to spread into the city over here. Hopefully overwhelming them with trees where they just... I am placing more than they can cut down by the time I accumulate another 1,000 points. Thank you for the tacos. Moving on up, 16k now, but yeah. Yeah, it's going to take a while to get there, but I would like to have, if not just a bare minimum of trees, a few more above and beyond that in order to have this place balanced where I can turn off my oxygen generators. And once I can turn those off, we're just saving more electronics and gas. Steel I'm doing okay on. I'd like to get... Like, steel is king. One of the kings of the entire universe here. Everything going forward is going to need steel and iron and the modern stuff. So I do want to have a lot of steel accumulated, even if it does take a hit on the rest of the systems here. And it's weird that sometimes I can't sort by anything other than our Highlanders. So in this case, it's just is what it is. I'm just gonna assign a couple people. Yeah, and slowly but surely, we'll have everything we need upgraded. We'll have all the trees that they can try and cut down, but I'm really trying to make sure that there's too many trees to cut down, if that makes sense. Yeah, everything modern needs some kind of steel and electronics. That's fine. I get that, you know, that's a modern age thing, so you have to have that incorporated in all your buildings. It just takes a hell of a lot of steel to upgrade everything that we have going on right here. But we'll see where we're at in, you know, in an hour or so of upgrading everything, especially the reservoirs. Especially the cemeteries, because I just love space cemeteries. That's my saving grace for this planet, is just seeing like little rockets going off once we have all the cemeteries upgraded, and as the nuggets are dying, you know, they're all just getting shot off into space. I think it's a nice, cool little effect. It's not as good as satellites, mind you. That'll always be a thorn in my side of them taking away satellites, because having space junk in the air around a planet is just super satisfying. But we'll give them some time to chill out. Yeah, we'll hit winter there. We're already maxed out on water. I think as long as I keep this balanced, we should have no issues with that going forward on Mother Planet. It does take a lot of resources to do, but like I said, once we get to space and once we start getting our trade routes and everything like that, then there should be no problems there. We should be able to continuously put basic resources back into Mother Planet. So she's always producing these, and hopefully what I do is we can get enough planets colonized that have capabilities to make the space age stuff without us absorbing more off of Mother Planet. Tricky. It's tricky. It'll be a long process and a long balance. But as far as it feels, this feels like if I'm gonna go through a long play of this game, with like the infinite kind of evolution of taking over universe, this is a pretty good starting planet for it. We've got enough space for thousands of nuggets, thousands and thousands of spaces available everywhere. So yeah, no matter how much they grow, they're always going to have all these buildings. So let's see. Let's see how we're looking going into winter. We should be totally fine with it. And I am very curious to see if I could ever get my criminal population to stay at 0. Like, would I need a lot of law enforcement? I don't know. I've never really tried that out. Usually I just stick to 1 or 2 cop shops, but this particular run through, maybe we'll have police in every neighborhood. It concerns me that some of these things that I'm building have no nuggets assigned into them anymore, so I just want to double check here. Anything that's on, minus the temple, because I don't really use a temple, but that chemical plant, oxygen generator, don't need that on. Kinetic generator, need somebody in. Observatory, I don't need on right now. Glass factory, we're doing fine on. The electronics factory defense tower. Yeah, I'll put one in there. Put an engineer in there. We've got a new gas mine. Got a couple engineers' huts that don't have people. Another eatery. Throw one person in the electronics factory. I'll go 2 people in this gas mine. We are doing pretty good on that. In a huge gas mine, but just to make sure that I'm always pulling something out of the earth, but I'm not doing a lot of it at the same time. That's why I only do like 2 people. It's because I don't want high efficiency, because that's just gonna drain my resources. And what I'm anticipating as well is by the time I get back, like from a moon or another planet, is that the algorithm doesn't really work quite well with some of these, where I think all my gas mines and oil jacks and everything else will be empty by the time I get back. And I don't think that's going to reflect in an accurate amount of numbers for most of the stuff here. That's interesting. I had 1,000 fuel, and then it went down to 998. I'm not using fuel for anything, so I'm not sure what consumed it. Maybe a thief. Maybe a thief stole that resource. That's it. We need more cops. More robo-cops. Foxville worshippers are angry, and these guys may send a tornado my way, and that's fine because we know how to deal with that. So look at, I'm using too much stone right now. I'll give him a lot of stone, see how much that deals with, and do that and try and get, let me see, like that's too much, and there we go. Okay, are they starting to accumulate anything in here? Not really yet. Just fine. I just want these as like a straight overflow for excessive amounts of plastics and everything. Now let's get some more builder bots going. If I can make like 100 builder bots, I'd be happy with that. And I kind of wish that the builder bots didn't just run around like creepy little robot spiders. I'd rather just they were there, or there was like a building for them to station up in or whatever, because just having them running around isn't really super cool. Wow, Kevin's using roads now. Look at you go, Kev. Good job, buddy. Okay, so let's go back in to medieval age. Let's get more iron mines put down here. And go back into space age. So we've got 8 builder bots so far, but that's effectively I want to colonize the entire universe with builder bots and nuggetoids. So I'm really trying to, hopefully the game allows me to make as many as I possibly can. Gonna find out. Okay, good. Breaking 1,000 on electronics was something that I really wanted to do, so I'm happy with that. How's our Cosmodrome looking? Okay, things are getting green. We just have to keep waiting. That's all it is. Slower than I ever expected, but hopefully that's just this time, because this is the only time where I'm going to be picking buildings out of their menu to fill all my resources with, because the game makes it mandatory for this first launch to throw certain buildings in, but for the remaining amount of spaceships, any other colony rockets that I'm using is just going to have raw materials. Yeah, I guess I can build that planet cracker extractor there too. Celestial extractor. Or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, celestial remnant. Build that up. Might as well just get that part. And I think there's one on the moon, and then there's one over in another quadrant. Another thing I want to work on is just getting a system of how planets are going to work, of just like naming them, because now that we have the ability to name them, I think I can probably organize it better, where I can see at a glance what each planet has, or what I'm using, what I'm shipping to my other planet, what's being shipped there. And so the trade route system will hopefully be a little more streamlined, because at the moment it is pretty brutal. Once you start getting into many planets, it's just this insane list that you have to keep scrolling down. So I'm going to try and find a system to organize that in a way that just makes sense at a glance, instead of me having to think about, okay, well, you know, what was on this planet, what's going to and from it. Another goal for this run through as well is I would love to see what 10,000 nuggets look like on a planet. Whether that's possible or not, who knows? But I'm gonna try for it. Whether that means that I slowly accumulate nuggets on this planet with Cupidon and all that, or you are targeting us. All right. Still, let's come back to that. Oh, you bastard! You bastard! Let's see if we can't. Okay, where am I pushing this guy to? Because I gotta protect the Cosmodrome. I'm gonna try and push it out here, but I don't know which direction it's going. All I know is I need to get this Cosmodrome out of the way of things, and this out of the way. Okay, we took down a couple residentials. That's fine. That's fine. There's some grounds for war, buddy. I may have screwed myself with giving that tornado that kind of gap. But I did. Yeah, I did. That thing's gonna chuck that. Yeah. Good thing I didn't have any resources in there yet. That would have sucked losing the Cosmodrome for sure. Hopefully that takes that one out to sea there. Carry on with what I was previously doing. This part feels like it takes forever when you're just waiting for a tornado to go away. I know I'm on slow speed, but I just need that for control right now. Let's see. There we go. All right. Yeah, I like those residentials here. Let's rebuild all that stuff. We didn't lose much. But yeah, taking out that spaceport would have been a bad day. Well, if they attack us again, I'll eliminate them completely. But right now, it's still those exiles are, that's few and far between that they do attack. Not super concerned about it. And back to, yeah, things are getting damaged over here. We need some more engineer coverage, or at least assign more into here. Go. There was another spot that needed. See how far down that is, even on the list anymore. Is this the one? Yeah, so this was the area. And it looks like they fixed that one. So that engineers, we just needed more bodies in it. No problem. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming of just upgrading everything. And what I'm going to start doing as well is limiting the amount of wood I can store anywhere, because I think that might be one of my solutions to my problem there, is if I just don't allow them to put it anywhere, they might not keep putting it there, you know, like, I don't know, theoretically. Or they just leave it all on the ground like this. But these are just stumps. And yeah, they're really trying to get rid of their trees. I'm really trying to add more, so the constant battle. I'll wait to get up to 1000 CP to do it again. Yeah, everywhere you look, though, there's stumps. They're taking them down as fast as I can drop them. Especially with if I have laborers, nuggetoid laborers. That's why I try and put them into jobs. Because if they have a job, then they don't get into their super tree cutting mode. And nuggetoids are incredible at cutting down trees. So they would outpace me if I had too many nuggetoid laborers. I think all my nuggetoids are signed. Interesting. I know I can find them with digits. Yeah, so these guys are all assigned to something. So these guys don't need to cut down any. I thought I searched by health, and these nuggetoids have the 200 health, but it doesn't want to show me on the sorting system for this, so whatever. Yeah, I don't want to get to a point where I have like insane amounts of wood, but that might be the case here, where as long as I have tens of thousands of trees, they will cut down tens of thousands of trees. Just kind of keep going back and forth, checking that I have at least the net positive on all my productions here. That iron mine, yeah, because we've done so much more with the iron, I'm just ahead of it, but barely. I gotta keep chasing. These ones are just builder bots. Keep converting those. Suppose, unfortunately, so I will. Yeah, so that's what I've done. Should have. Yeah, I assigned people to this through the menu, and I did not need to do that. I need to turn all these guys off. That way I won't do that again. Now that should tell me how many iron mines I actually have going. Sort by power. Okay, so I can't turn this one off based on the fact that it's becoming a builder bot, but let's try this. Okay, cancel that, turn that off, then turn it into a builder bot. Now on the menu, yeah, okay. And I guess just before I assign anything now. I don't know, that's tricky, but we'll make it work. We got 15 up, so I'm gonna try and find some more iron with a space age iron mine. Try and find a decent node around here somewhere. 9,000. That looks like a hot spot. Yeah, that's pretty good here. 4,000, 5,000. That looks like it's as good as we're gonna get, maybe. It's hot. Come on. You're right there somewhere. Come on. God, this game is picky sometimes. Yeah. Perfect. You're laughing in stitches. Yeah. What's the cat doing now? Upgrading. Finally, eh? Wow. Putting her foot down. Good for her. Okay. Try to get another law enforcement. I definitely don't want to have this as like a police state sort of thing, but I do want to try and see if I can minimize, like get down to like 0 criminals. That would be kind of cool. Not that it matters a whole bunch, but an infected zone. Been a while since we've seen one of those. Clear that up. Find out my reason why. Okay. Well, I guess we gotta put a cemetery down. Okay, I'll take medical aid. And that's as good as that gets. Prioritize that. And we got food, we got water over here, and that cemetery coverage, we shouldn't have any problems with that anymore. Let's go here. Kaditi. Okay. Now, let's take a look. I think some battery upgrades would be good. Can go back to diapers. Yeah. Wouldn't we all like that sometimes? I mean, there's a whole industry for it, right? That just depends on if you need them or not. No, I'm good, thank you. Alright. More engineer upgrades. Okay, good. They're still getting resources in there. So how many builder bots are we up to? 9 plus. And that's not a super cool, accurate number, but 9 plus. And the only way I can find out now is by going into the trade panel. 9 plus, and 10 is 9 plus, that's for sure. I'd like to get, 100 of them if possible. I'd make a mess of that downtown core, but enjoy your walk. Let me just double check that all my kinetic generators are ready to go. Still have a few to upgrade, so let's do that. 1, 2. Couple at a time, make sure everybody's in them. Power generation shouldn't ever be a problem now, and I can, once I get more solar panels down as well, and we have a ton of power stored, so I do need to get more batteries operating, or at least upgraded. Once I have those, then I can start easing off on the generators. And that's going to free up a whole bunch of nuggets. Not that I need a ton of unemployed right now. Let's make sure that all my schools are upgraded and staffed as well. No longer a school, it is a university. Okay, all are upgraded and all are manned. So let's get, I'm going to put a couple more down. Scenarios where there aren't any schools. I know that I only have 92 nuggets unemployed or uneducated, but I'd like to get that even lower if possible. The more schools, the better off we are on that. Coming into winter with 17k worth of water. Let's see what happens when we get right down to frozen ass winter here. 117 minutes right now, which is good. That shouldn't change too much. So yeah, having about, 2 hours worth of water for a 15-minute winter, that's reasonable. I kind of like the old looking rehab center, but we'll upgrade it anyways. Okay, and we got 1,000 CP, so let's plant some more trees down. Low temperature alert. Thanks, tips. Still hovering at 16k, so hopefully hopefully I can get there in a few more passes of full CP. I really want to get up to at least 24k and then stop that oxygen generator and just rely on what the planet's offering. It'd be cool to have design options. Yeah, that would be really cool to be able to design your own buildings, like a little building creator. I would love to see more variety in the buildings themselves too, because as many different buildings that they have, it feels like there's only, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 models, which is reasonable. But just to see, it would be really cool if like every building was unique. Having an identical building, sometimes side by side, it's just ruins the immersion, man. That one looking good. How we doing on iron? 15 up. Okay. Up on that. Up. Yeah, it looks like we're up on all things right now, so I'm pretty happy with that. Check our Cosmodrome. Let's see how we're doing over there. Still needs steel, but everything else is good. Okay, great. So I'm glad it's working. I was kind of afraid that was kind of getting a little glitchy there. We'll get that remnant extracted, and hopefully it doesn't perpetually take resources, so I'll keep an eye on this, making sure that I'm not putting more resources in, but I do believe that that got fixed in the last patch. Maybe in a couple months from now we'll have another patch. Tell you though, the Discord for this game, it feels like the devs just like threw up their hands. They're like, no, we're not communicating anymore. I get it. I'm sure they're burnt out, but a little more push on this, and hopefully they get as close to a perfect game as they can before they put it to bed. Start working on Universim too. Yeah, that's a few decades out, I'm sure. Feels like there's just infinite amount of Stone Age reservoirs to upgrade. That's kind of a problem with the building menu, is when I go into reservoirs. Sure, it gives me the option to upgrade, but I don't know what age they're in. So, could be upgrading a modern to a space age, or a Stone Age to medieval, or I just don't know. But I know that we got all of our Stone Age ones upgraded to medieval ones before we got into modern age. Now I'm just it's kind of a hodgepodge of everything going on right now. Okay, we can spare the food. $1,000 food for you. I tried giving the black market trading a chance again, and it still just failed to impress. Like, oh yeah, well, we'll take like all your ecology away. You know, is that cool? It's like, no, that's not really cool. 3 more builder bots. Go back into medieval. Collect some more iron mines. Plop those down. And back in base. That oil jack good to go, so let's get a couple people working on that. Couple at a time. If I do 1 or 2, these things last a really long time. If I have full efficiency on them, they just drop before I really want them to. So having more structures with less people gives me more control on how much oil I can actually bring in without diminishing each particular oil jack. But yeah, we're still dropping pretty fast. And getting there. A few more steel. And the moon is always going to be the first place I go, just based on the amount of unobtainium there and how easy it is to colonize. We'll get that all colonized, get that rocking, so I can get my nuggetoids going, getting a lot more unobtainium. And that's really the be-all, end-all plan of my playthrough, is having just thousands of nuggetoids. Like having more nuggetoids than nuggets, which sounds crazy, but kind of what I want to do, so I'm going to try. Keep looking at my, so minus 5.2% a year on pollution. So because I've built so many Sleepy Spring sanctuaries and turned so many off, all I have to do is turn a couple more on, get back up to 10%, and then just keep an eye on that. Every time it gets below, you know, hovering around 5, I'll just go back to Sleepy Springs and I'll turn a few more on, and I will also place more down. I try and do that as sort of my rule of thumb for this, is if I turn a few on, then I have to build some more. And I will build some more solar panels at the same time too. That way we're always growing, we're always creating more power, less pollution. And ultimately, I think some kind of way I would love to have like planets dedicated to different materials. So like a planet just for steel, a planet just for plastics, and taking all that pressure off of Mother Planet. I think Lava Planet is going to be a good one for buffering that. I think there's a ton of iron on that planet, which should be. There's just so many mountainous regions. So I might start attacking the Lava Planet once I'm done with the moon, because I'm just going to send an army of nuggetoids over there, ship, you know, hundreds and hundreds of steel and plastic and fuel and everything, like basically take almost half my inventory off of Mother Planet, head over to Lava Planet to start that up, and then grow that planet, because it's the only, as far as I've seen, and you know, maybe somebody else has seen it, but I have not seen another huge planet besides the one we start on and Lava Planet. And I got to imagine that they do exist. It's just, maybe they're just ultra rare. or I just haven't traveled in the right direction on the map. I think we'll find another one day. And it's going to be in this playthrough as well, because I don't really have a stopping point for it. I'm not trying to get to the end of the story. You know, we've seen it. We know what happens. We know what nuggets are and all that fun stuff. But that's kind of the best part about this game, is you don't have to play it to win it. You can just play it. You know, there's no particular end, and they say, you know, as long as your computer can handle it, then you can just keep going infinitely. And I'd like to test that in a sense, and especially if they're really working on the updates, making sure that it doesn't crash anymore. Because if I look on the Discord, I'm still seeing a lot of different crashes and error codes, and hopefully they rectify those, where this becomes a game that doesn't crash, that is extremely stable. And I'm not faulting them. It's a big game. It's a big undertaking for an independent company to take on. So I get it that, you know, it's hard to have a very small team working on a very ambitious game like this. But I do have faith in it that one day we'll just be able to play this and not worry, like not crossing our fingers that it doesn't crash every time you go into a different loading screen. It's looking pretty good. A new cemetery, is that the new one? Cool. Couple nuggets in there. Still building up CP here. Yeah, let's look around for more reservoirs to upgrade. Try and get them all into the modern and then into the space age. These reservoirs, these space age ones, they're good, but compared to a modern one, the amount of materials it takes for them, so 100, and this is 135, 30 out of 30. Like, for the amount of electronics it takes to upgrade these things, I don't know. I suppose the freezing and evaporation temperature is a massive change. So that part, like, that's, you have to have space age reservoirs for ice and lava planets, because it would evaporate too fast otherwise. But on this planet, where it's all nice and evenly temperatured across the board, I don't know how many space age reservoirs I really need. Like, it doesn't make that much of a huge difference on water reserves. And I'd rather have them all modern first, or a majority of modern, and then slowly pick away at the space age ones. Just based on the fact that that's a lot of electronics, man, for some water. You know, to upgrade a lot of the other buildings, it doesn't take nearly as much electronics, if any at all. You guys got anything? Nope, 13 minutes. Look at you and your 6 cars. Pretty cool. Probably one I just picked away at. I don't need this wood refinery anymore, so let's go away with that. We'll have our stone refinery working away here. Should have a few updated wood refineries as well. Yeah, let's turn these guys into builder bots. Then once these ones are constructed and these ones are gone, I'm just using this as just purely builder bot pad, just because I know it's right next to the spaceport. It's easy to find. Doing anything yet? Nope, not yet. That's just gonna take some time. This ready yet? We're just hinged on a few steel. That's totally cool. because I don't owe anything to anybody right now. I think we're doing pretty good on all our numbers here. And I'm not trying to go like balls to the wall with fuel or plastic, especially because I'm not using vehicles. I don't need to continuously produce fuel because we're just not using it. What I'll be using it for is for terraforming. That's going to be the major draw on that stuff. But terraformers don't take a ton of fuel. They do take some. And the unobtainium extractors as well do need them. I believe. Where is home base? How are we looking? You guys just go into like the hole? That'd be cool. There it is. So yeah, the unobtainium extractor needs fuel, chemicals, and steel to extract, but because it's a finite resource, it doesn't take a lot. This is my old school iron mine. Yep. Okay. And as we go along, you know, the less I'm seeing the need for upgrades. Again, it's just because the planet's so freaking covered that every corner I look, there's going to be something to upgrade. And I would love to get everything just all modernized, if not spacified. That gives me plenty of storage space for everything I need. And water, I'm still at 17k, so keep going until I can't find any more. And I guess I could go with planet filter and look at the era and then go through this in an era way of just upgrading all the Stone Age stuff. I'm glad they included this in the filter because it does make it a lot easier to find things. Although I can't upgrade, you know, it's kind of an eyesore seeing just all the yellow, but that's what these parks are, you know, they're always going to be Stone Age parks. Until they come up with an update saying that, hey, you can have like Space Age parks or some kind of upgraded thing, but we just don't have that option right now. And it's looking like less and less. I'm not seeing a lot of reservoirs around. You know. A lot of fire huts, fire stations. Mostly just the parks and fire stations at this point in time. Which is good, because I'm really trying to get everything I can upgraded out of Stone Age at the very minimum. Interesting. I thought I checked the kinetic generators, but maybe I missed one. And once I have all those upgraded, then I'll just kind of keep slowly going around, upgrading everything else. And at some point in time, we'll go to space. But right now, I'm sort of just enjoying the slow play of this. There's no rush to get anywhere. It's just picking away and making it all grow pretty naturally. You guys demand resources. No. Not going to make you like me anymore. Okay, we got fuel in here. We're still waiting on oil and gas. This is like a dead zone for deliveries. That would suck because we got couriers huts around. Maybe another one. Couriers huts will never hurt. Water, got some food. Okay, let's put my engineers over here. What warehouse was that? Oh, it just got fixed. So, yeah, let's hire some more engineers. And I think the thing I like most about assigning all the clones with the last name of a C dash is just to see how much of a lineage that they do have, you know? I really do like that, being able to like sort it out and knowing that all the C001s came from the original Rick that we made, and then twos and so forth. It's funny that, like, you know, some people just don't have kids, right? Rick C-003 is not banging anybody. It's coming along. Now we're up to 18K, but didn't check if I'll have to take a look at my production again next spring, see how we're looking. As long as I'm maxed out, then it doesn't really matter. It's if I'm struggling to max out my entire supply system, then I have to add more pumps in. But that in turn means more chemicals, that in turn means, you know, just more resources. Right now, the lakes are looking pretty good, and we're up at 975. I'll call that good enough to get our trees going again. And which way was I spreading out? Spreading out this way. Keep spreading this way. That will put us up. We're still at 16K. Alright, let's go with medical aid on this vote here. See how our builder bots are looking, and let's see how the Ricks are doing over here. So we got cool. Hook them up with me, they will want to after that. Yeah, damn right. Okay, so that's up to 45. So let's do 46 to 50. Numbers are tricky. 8, 49. Yeah, we're gonna keep that outfit on you. What do we call this guy? We call him Village Rick. Okay, that's another stone refinery I don't think I need. Get rid of that. There's that. How are we doing on glass? I'm just gonna upgrade this and have it in my pocket. I'm not gonna have it running, but if we are running low on glass, then kind of up it a bit. Slowly but surely, we're seeing less and less medieval reservoirs. How many glass factories do I have? 3. Okay. Still producing them on the up, and struggling, but getting there on the up on that one. Let's look for another iron mine placement here. And with over 1,000 is always nice. Yes, I do have to cut into the forest for it, but what we're doing with the extraction here on, or like putting the forest into the city, gonna bug me too much. Hopefully the roads don't take out a lot of trees. They may. That was a poorly placed engineer's hut. Not very efficient. You guys want? Nothing. You guys want? Sure. Still at 85. 105. Alright, on. 20 more. Good stuff. Doing anything yet? Nope. Back into medieval. Oop. Back into medieval. And nope. How many builder bots are we up to now? 15. That's a slow process. Okay, and winter, what do we got? 100 minutes left. I think we're gonna make it. Getting a little crazy on food again, so let's see. Hopefully we can create some exiles for something right now. Yeah, good stuff. Perfect. Okay, exile one. The other ones. Got nothing. Our town doing? Got anything? Nothing. Alright, so we gotta wait for them to replenish their resources in order for us to trade. I'm always gonna try and knock down food first, especially if I'm making like way too much. Like having 10,000 prepped is plenty fine. I'd always like more prepped, but not raw food. I feel like the more I have prepped, the more it indicates to them that they can grow their population to a prepped food amount. That works in my head anyways. Yeah, I'm just going to struggle away with this tree thing for a while as I upgrade it. I'm going to try not to do anything else. Let them grow naturally. And we're at 1,400, so it's a good sign that their population is slowly increasing. I know the game really wants to knock me back down to 800 because it's just saying there's too much going on, but if there's one way I want to break this game is by like 10,000 nuggets. I would love to see that number up there, because I wonder if it goes to what it shows like down here with like the 12k, or is it going to give me, it looks like there's room for another digit there. We'll see. One day we'll get to 10k. Not anytime soon, that is for sure, but one day. But yeah, I appreciate anybody that's been here and supported this and helped knock boots and kind of go with helping the population of this planet grow. Your support is much appreciated. Ooh, and we got a volcano. Cool. Yeah, I might take out a couple things. I'm glad it's this one and not the forest one. You guys are really trying to cut down all those trees, but I'm just not going to let you have any of it. I'm going to really try and get this whole thing forested to the point where they are so overwhelmed that they're just like, you know what? Fine, have your trees. I doubt I have fire control right there. I guess I'm going to need a full coverage cemetery over here. I'm going to need 2, fortunately, but this is going to take forever to build. So what I'll try and do is maybe might need like a trifecta in the forest. Try and at least put one. See if I can cover this section of the forest. Maybe. Yes. Goal isn't really to take out trees. I need here somewhere. 2. And let's see, where's a minimal amount of damage over here? With full coverage damage. That's the spot. That gives us full coverage. In turn, it needs engineers now. Food. Hopefully these roads aren't... I mean, I think they're probably going to end up trying to clear all these roads out. But, I think by that time that we'll have a lot of forest in the city coverage. So my national forest can afford to have a lot of sections taken out. Plus I'm going to need the oil out of here eventually. And that oil doesn't come with just oil, you know, it needs the food and the water and everything else that nuggets need in order to be in that spot. This is going to take a while to make. That's fine. Maybe another courier site over here. Don't know if they can climb that mountain, but we're sure going to try. Take a look at the numbers here. See, that gas mine is empty. Yeah, it looks like everything else is as full as it needs to be, I think. What we got? Why it doesn't sort ones out like that. That university going, law enforcement. See if this is... Yeah, this is one of the iron mines we actually need to staff here. That brings us up to 17. That's good. Mine's off. And we've got a slowdown on the building for some reason. That's fine. My labor's looking over 200, so we're good. This warehouse, right? That was, what was it? Electronics, gas, oil, steel, M. So that is fuel. Finally rebuilding these residentials after that tornado like half an hour ago. And how many more? Come on, still 20. Maybe I just need to chill out on the upgrades in the building for a second, just to make sure that they're able to catch up on some of this stuff. Let the volcano pass. Let them kind of just do their thing. Maybe chill out a bit. Oil jack is... I don't know. Once I get closer to 2,000 nuggets as a population as well, I'll probably try and start upgrading the eateries so I can get up to 3,000 food. Just like the modern eateries. I don't really like the space age ones. Hitting around 3/4 believers isn't bad either. Not too bad of a 940. I'm happy with that. I'm used to like having like 25 to 40% believing. I think that's got a lot to do with the Highlanders, because you know every Highlander that believes in me just always believes in me. I don't know if they can lose faith once they have it. I think it's just a permanent thing. We're gonna upgrade this one because I'm looking at, there's just a slight disparity here. So we are I'd like to have almost a 1-to-1 planks and bricks, even if it is a lot. I can get rid of those in a hurry once the exiles trade again. They just got to get their shit together and get some more supplies. Excuse me. Take a look at cemeteries as well. I'm gonna make sure that all my cemeteries are upgraded into space and fully staffed. So 1, 2, 3. How many criminals? 23. So we're hovering at that point. Pick that all law enforcement staffed. Upgrade that one. Do full staffing on all law enforcement. Again, I don't know if that actually helps drop down criminals down to 0. Rehab centers, I'm trying not to use prisons, because prisons don't, I think it just, you know, it'll lock them up and keep them there. Take a look. Let's see how many people are actually utilizing these things. Got 1 out of 2. I'm gonna upgrade it so I can get all 4 spots in there. Hydrocladder is no more. Oh, we just got volcanoed, I think. Yeah, that looks like a volcano thing. Where are my firefighters for this area? Exist. I guess I'll help them. No, they got it. They got it. That and another one in there, and then once we get it fully upgraded, we can get staffing on 4. Okay, so I am getting owing quite a bit of material to certain things right now, so I should probably just stop upgrading until, let's say, we get down to 50 again on steel beams. I'm just gonna let that chill for a second. Oh, Night Raven. Toasted. Death by Snoo Snoo. At least the builder bots don't need steel. It's kind of beyond me, right? But like, out of all the things that need to build everything in the world, you'd figure builder bots would need steel too. But they don't. Keeping an eye on power as well. Just at the cusp. It ranges. So as long as I'm staying around 20, I'll make sure that if I'm hitting around 15, then we start building more solar panels. I'm gonna not try. I don't want to build any more kinetic generators because the amount that we have already is probably already excessive. But I do need to upgrade those ones. But yeah, 6 pages worth. Hey, ready to launch. Finally. Wow. That took a minute. That's good. Now we have the capability to launch this thing. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to launch it now, just in case something goes wrong, like the Exiles attack the Cosmodrome. I am going to launch this thing over to the moon, but we're not going to go to the moon yet. Just going to send it off there, and then that way I can show you, yeah, the Snoo Snoo gets you every time. Yeah. That way I can show you kind of how I'm going to continue to create these things. So now, instead of picking buildings, because as nice as the buildings are, what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to be sending, in some cases, builder bots and nuggetoids. I got to save that for a little later. But what I want to do for any other colony that I'm going forward is basically throwing electronics and steel and cement and all the building materials. So I don't really have to make sure that I have enough for one particular building. I just have a generic amount of resources for any building that I need. But again, using builder bots, we don't need any of those resources because we've already made those builder bots and they take no resources to build everything. That's kind of why I love the one and done sort of thing, where you build a builder bot and then you don't have to worry about constructing anything other than spaceports. You can't build stuff with the builder bots, but there's very few buildings that builder bots can't be. Okay, gotta wait till you're out of school and then we'll give you a last name there. $900 points going into winter, maxed out on that. So let's go back to our forest. Which planet am I on? Still Mother Planet. Yeah, I haven't touched anything in space yet. $17K, moving on up. we doing? 138. Yeah. So they're picking away at it, but I don't want to overwhelm them on the steel or electronics. And I'd really like to basically have everything, like them not working on anything when we go to the next spot, because by the time I get back, I think all the resources out of all my oil jacks and gas mines are going to be drained. So I'd almost rather drain them now, have them all in storage, and that way I don't know if the numbers actually work out all that well when I leave the planet and they come back, like if we've actually gotten the full amount of resources from each of those mines. So to have not many mines working when we leave, I think is a good idea. Out of school yet? There. Caps. You're a workaholic. Go figure. And contraception ban all the way. These cemeteries are getting pretty good here. Yay, more babies. Okay, let's go back to our friends. Checking, see if we can trade with them yet. Got anything for us yet? Yes, you do. And I am going to trade you food because we're getting too much of it. Oh, I think we got hit with a volcano there. Okay, what's going on over here? Oh, that would be them attacking me. That's them attacking. So, again, we want to push them out to the water here. So it looks like it's coming this way, so try and divert it. Are you sneaking through that gap, asshole? See how much that's going to push them out. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. Appreciate you. Not like we needed water pumps in the winter or nothing. Down that guy. Just send the tornado towards the volcano. Then we can have a fire tornado. Oh, that's good. This I think we should. It looks like we'll probably have both volcanoes going on at the same time at this point in time. Cool. That put me more in the hole for resources than I was anticipating, but that'll be fine. With 85 minutes worth of water. I believe that was a... Not sure if that was a... That's not a space age one. So it took out a space age water pump. That's why we're down a lot of capacity in the winter there. Nobody's working in the rehab centers. 23 criminals still. I don't know if it's even possible to get down to 0. I'm not sure. But our ricks are baked. Let's release the next batch. 47 to 50, so let's go for the 51, 55. game is fighting me now. We are losing, struggling at the 1400 mark, but I am trying again. I'm putting all my points into trees right now. I want to get that back up to something reasonable, and it looks like we're starting to overwhelm them, where it's just too many damn trees for them to cut down all at once. How's my oil looking? I am now low on oil. We're not producing as much as we're using. As much as I keep saying I'm going to chill out, you have to keep placing more. Trying to find the little pockets that I can around here. Hydrocollider's back up and running, so let's get that going again. Just with one nugget. That like should be fine for now, but yeah, already, you know, without that hydrocollider, these things will drop. And as much as I'm using the cloud generators, I'm not trying to use a ton of gas on them, because I want to collect as much gas as possible. We're going to need that for everything. Starting to look pretty green though, I like that. My whole goal is to have the entire planet recoated in trees wherever we can fit them. But that's going to take like tens of thousands of points, so it takes a long time to get it right back to where we started, or and above 24,000. You know, if I could have 50,000 trees on the planet, I would love that too. But we're slowly climbing up where we don't need that oxygen generator nearly as much. I'm going to lean on it until I get my 24k again, though, for sure. And I have one pollution. Interesting. Not sure why. Should have 0 if I'm at minus 11% a year. Oh, I'm down to 0. Got you. Trying to give me pollution when not necessary. How many reservoirs do I have? 177 reservoirs on the planet. 5 sleeping springs. I'll probably need more solar panels and eateries. It looks like the farms are just doing great with it, even just being in modern age. I think the numbers look pretty good. And is that volcano done? Still waiting for it to spew its last. Yeah, it's still going. It'd be nice if it was the same volcano that erupted, because this is pretty much around nothing. And what's my engineer's problem over here? Let's see. That'll be it. Find a few more engineers. Go, defense tower. So yeah, this area is just lacking on little engineer support. It's pretty important, especially in the exile bubble, to have engineers, because I can't cure those things inside that bubble. Get that fully stocked. We're still got, yep, plus 200 laborers. Contraception ban seems to be working. We've got 14 kids now. Recently we were at around 9. 160, so we're not going down on steel beams, and I think that was a lot to do with after the tornado I just had to construct more stuff. But we're doing good on electronics. We're doing pretty good on chemicals. Gas is still in the positive. Oil is getting to be more and more in the negative. So that's becoming at a point in time right now where I really need to start looking at going to go get more oil off other planets before I dissipate. I still have 30,000 left on the planet somewhere. Sure how that's even possible. I know there's a band here, and that's 2, 4, that's about 6,000, 6 or 7,000 units there. I don't know where the other 23,000 is, but okay, so that was the one we just assigned things to. How's our cemeteries looking? All my production up here. I'm gonna chill out on upgrading anything until we get our steel balanced again. Cemetery. Okay, 3 are being upgraded. I'm gonna chill on these as well, just until steel drops down to say 75 or 50 or so. Funny, no matter how balanced I feel when I leave this planet, I always come back and it's like, oh yeah, you know, you missed something. Trying here. Starting to finally build this little village out up here. It's gonna take a while for them to get there. I totally get that. Don't think that's an easy path to get to. I suppose they're just taking this route over here. Lone babies in there. And a Tolkien. Doing anything yet? Okay, so we're almost done extracting the first part. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I don't know if we need all 3 of these. I guess if I go over here. Yeah, we need all 3 parts of this in order to actually say that that's 100% of this particular material. And we are not accumulating anything in any of the depots yet. Okay. How's our brick situation going? You guys are good, so 55. 60 next. Okay, good. Steel's coming down. Electronics coming down. Alright, let me see if I can rectify this oil thing a little bit before it's getting unmanageable. My productions, that oil jack is toast. Get rid of that one. They bought that guy. And I think what I need to do is just up my numbers a little bit. So let's get all 3 in each. Did that oil jack just get created? Probably. 3. And okay, let's see what that looks like now. 27 up. Okay, so I'm just barely in the positive, but that's fine. I'm not trying to go really crazy with that. In the positive for that. Yeah, good. Our forest cemetery, I believe. Yeah. Running out of neutral laborers. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means there's a lot of traits being made, but yeah, we're pretty steadfast on the 1400 here now. Been at 1400 for quite a while. The streetlight look really weird in the forest. Hopefully another religious focus on the vote. Hoping. Try and get more and more religious points. Contraception's doing okay though, 1700. Yeah, and once I get all the trees, then I'll start doing the mate fest again because they've knocked us down to 16k again. So I need to keep fighting this until we're up to 24k. Doing on steel, 75. Wow, they chunked it down really fast. Awesome. Okay, that farm that got destroyed is back up and running. Not that I need many farmers right now, but we'll get them going with some crabapple. Take a workaholic out of tower. Water pump's finally back up. That's good. That should help our cause on this, because yeah. Lunch around 2:15. All right, sounds good. Got suspicious nuggets arrested. Okay, I'll let that sit for the winter. And I'm not super concerned that we're not completely maxed out. That was, due to circumstance where I just didn't have that water pump up and running, so we didn't get up to where we're usually aiming for. But let's see where this volcano takes us as well. I don't have any infected zones over here. I know they're doing a lot of construction, so people will die in that forest. Escorting. Come on, hurry up. Oh, the original Rick's daughter. You might have something to say about that. Okay. Should be almost all the cemeteries now upgraded. We need to upgrade this because it's full until space age ones. Cemetery's on its last legs. Yeah, let's check the engineer coverage over here. That'll do it. Builder bots. And back to medieval. Iron mine over here. Well, it looks like law enforcement's doing something right because I'm seeing a lot of people getting arrested. And we're down to 21 criminals now, so I think the rehab centers are doing what they need to do. I may need more rehab centers and law enforcement, but at this point in time, just because crime is so low, I can just give that time and it should hopefully naturally work itself out. Last we're doing fine on. I'm always just checking just to make sure that I'm not running out of anything. Because if I can catch it early, then all the better. I don't want to have to play like, you know, like heavy catch up on this thing of like stopping production for something else. Okay, so we're fully recovered from the tornado over here now. And let's see, which volcano is it? Same one, good. Kinetic generator's finally getting upgraded. Upgrade these courier sets. I don't know if the courier hut upgrade does anything besides aesthetics, but it'll just be another thing that we need to modernize anyways. How are we doing on steel? 19 ode. I can go a little bit crazy on getting some more stuff upgraded. And that means cemeteries. Okay, oil jacks are up and running over here. Gonna put one in each of those for now. Guy over here. Get a last name? Let's see. Don't know. You're chilling at home, so we'll check back in a minute. Coming up on 1,000 points again. Getting through winter, no problem. Still 92 minutes. 19k allowed storage. I may have to upgrade another pump on probably this lake. In fact, yeah, I'm going to do that. Because stored drinking water is actually fairly low, all things considered. I don't know if there is a way to get that completely maxed out, except for having a lot of heavy pumps here. But we'll see. 970 points coming out of winter. Okay, let's go do our spring trade with the exiles if I can find them. And I want to use food again because still way too much food. One exile. These guys don't have anything yet. Yep. Out of your house yet? Nope, just chilling at home. And 1,000 points. Let's blow that all on trees here. Brings us back up to 17. Hopefully we can fight this. Like, they are chopping down a lot of trees, but I like seeing that I'm not really accumulating a ton of them. So it kind of looks like they're starting to give up on clearing space. And next rehab center is up. Yeah, making the nuggets. Criminals 20. All right, that's dropping. They're finding the criminals pretty freaking fast. Check all my couriers' huts. Make sure they're all fully staffed. 213 workers, good. Okay, let's fully staff these. Couple upgrades. And now, like I learned last time, is elderly assisted living sounds like a good idea, but it kills my immortals. So I think I'm just going to do food for all so we can keep chucking down the absolute surplus of food that we do have. How many builder bots am I up to? 24. Okay, we're getting there. I'd like to have about 100. Just about. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. Ah. It broke. Sure. Okay. Darn. Contingency plan is I don't know when I didn't save. I haven't saved for a long time. And I can't get back into the exit screen. So what I'll try and do is, unfortunately, we have to prematurely colonize the moon. And I think this will reset this. I don't like doing this. This wasn't the plan, but we'll make it the plan now. Let's colonize the moon. Let's see if we can go to the moon. I do have autosaves, yeah, but let's see what happens here. See how broken it is. Okay, well, wasn't the plan for this, but I'm gonna spend a little bit of time colonizing the moon here. And so we got unobtainium over there, there, and there. This seems like a prime spot. And a few little lakes. Ooh, not very big lakes on this moon at all. I got a 4,000 over here. Okay. So I'll start with just these two lakes here, with a couple hydrocolliders. What I'm going to do right off the bat is I'm looking at a spot where I can put a spaceport down immediately. And at the same time having nuggetoids coming up here. So I think looks like a good starting spot. Yeah, flatland. Spaceport area. Get that going here. I think you can join again on this planet as well, I believe. So let's see what our Nuggets last names are, if we still have last names off the bat. We do not. So what I'll start with, just before they start getting out of control, is we'll start some lineages here. But before that, I need my builder bots. Send builder bots over. I'll send my nuggetoids over. These guys are going to do not a whole bunch of much that build houses, because of course they will. So what I'm looking at is I can get that and that. Get some water going. And I suppose based on the fact that, yeah, it's not ideal for me, but I'll get these guys up and running, and then I'll start ordering supplies for it. So the first thing I'm going to put down is the warehouse. That way any materials that I am getting go right into the warehouse. And actually, I say that, but I think I'm going to put down as my spaceport. That way I know what space I'm working with. And I've got my builder bots here now. So instead of using the materials for this stuff, all I'm going to do is do builder bot stuff. And we're going to start with a kinetic generator right here. And a water reservoir right next to the house. And I will get a nugget in there at the time being, but I'm gonna get all my nuggetoids over to here. Watch that. Okay, next one's coming up. I'm going to all the basics first. That battery going. I try and build it tight, that way I don't have to use many engineers. Battery. Space age water pump. Hydro collider. Engineers. Warehouse. For this warehouse, basically I want to put it right outside of the spaceport. I'm probably going to build a few of them. One is going to be for like outgoing materials. Looking at this, we don't have a lot on the planet here, 9,000 oil. So this is kind of just going to be a planet just for the unobtainium. And then our last one is going to be, is not going to be an unobtainium extractor because it won't allow me to. So I'll build this with the nuggetoids. These guys are on board with all this stuff. And I am going to disable rocks and stones for sure. So now that the nuggetoids are here, I am going to basically take some basic supplies and 20, 25, 25. Steel. 25 fuel. 25 chems. Okay, no, that's too much. That was too much over here. Alright, let me drop that down to 20. That's all I got right now. So what I am going to change my strategy. I'm gonna wait for this to be built. That will give us 8. Assign quick. That unobtainium extractor, first one's going to be up and running. I'll wait to assign somebody into the engineers here. And my whole thing is that I just want to get this like just bare bones running. And then what we'll do is once I start getting unobtainium, then we'll start creating more nuggetoids to send up here and just kind of keep them up here. So we're not running on a lot of power. I don't need a lot of water going on right now, but the steel beams and chemicals coming in, but after the spaceport's done. And what am I missing for that? I am missing all the things. So, oh no, I've got plastics, okay. I've got enough steel, okay, and electronics I will be missing, so that'll be my first shipment over here. Can I cancel that? Just to zero that back down. Remaining amount of electronics. Let's launch that just to get the spaceport going. Unobtainium is up and kind of drilling away. That's going to take a minute for that to start going. So we get this drop off. Maybe I'll get a couple more builder bots up here. I don't need many more for the bare bones package of this thing. What I really want to do actually is send, once this is up, I'm going to send my nuggets back home because I don't need them. Effectively, they're useless right now until I have a colonized planet sort of thing. And that's the last thing I can do with the builder bot as well is terraforming. So let's pop a terraformer over here somewhere. Roads are always janky as hell. Okay, terraformer, that should be in the engineers, but yeah, that's totally, everything's in the space. Hopefully the spaceport's covered. Okay, that terraformer's in there. You guys are breaking down rocks, but you should not have any place to store them. And let's get our first parks on here as well. That way, any pollution we have just immediately caused is sort of eliminated. That's 18, so I have enough for those. Okay, this trade vessel's coming in. That arriving should give us enough electronics to finish off the spaceport. Okay, good. Okay, once that spaceport's done, we can build the other unobtainium extractors. Get all of those going. Yeah, looks like that's the only other one, long distance one on the planet. Totally fine. That'll give us 20 nuggetoids off of the moon. CP springs are up. We're still at 0.3 a year, so hopefully this will allow that to get back into the negatives. Yep. And I can build one more. Several more, actually. Let's do that. Let's keep it in range. What I'm hoping that this does is that I can hop back to Mother Planet now and have it unfrozen. We left it in a pretty good state. Like it wasn't doing super terrible where like I think stuff's gonna fall apart. But like I said, I wanted like kind of to leave it where there was nothing to be done before we left here. The game said not having any of that. Once this is done, I will get fuel, chemicals, and steel being shipped over here a few times over. And electronics and cement and blah blah blah. How much gas do I have on this planet? Enough to get by. Okay, now that I have that, don't freeze again, please. I'm gonna ask for, they do it in batches. I'll send one full rocket, which is 20 units. And the rocket fuel. And a full rocket chemicals. Plastics. Electronics. And that's going to be it for this shipment. And what I'm going to do is I'll do this 5 times. I'm going to launch that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the nuggets off the moon, send them back. Now I don't need nuggets here. I don't have infected zones or any care in the world for food or drinking water, any of that good fun stuff. But as that's going, I'm going to assign a couple laborers. Then I'll leave 2 out until we start getting unobtainium. Basically, I'll build the other unobtainium extractors and we'll get all these going. Once these ones are built, then I will hopefully have enough unobtainium accumulated where we can go back home, build 20 robots, send them back up, have them doing whatever they need to do over here. Still, yeah, we're not doing bad for pollution. This lake is full. I'm just gonna fill the lakes first because I know with, well, there's tiny little lakes, so should be able to get these all full pretty fast. These are like the tiniest lakes I've ever seen on. A couple ones here that are pretty decent size. Some boo boo, yo yo. New patch? Not recently. Like they did that one last month or the beginning of this month. But yeah. Yeah, I'm only on the moon based on the fact that I went into the planet screen and it froze the game, and this was my way around it, is just going to the moon. I wasn't planning on terraforming this early on. I mean, I say early, I'm in 2200 years, but no, we just had a glitch, so it kind of forced my hand of going to the moon. But I can use it because we've got all the unobtainium. Never been to the moon? Well, welcome to it. This is a good starting point. I know they give you a lot of options to go to Andromeda and like the lava planet and all the neighboring planets, but I always start on the moon anyways because there's at least 20 unobtainium there. And I can start making nuggetoids out of that and then starting my excursion of the planet, because I don't use nuggets in space. They are just useless, and they die and they need food and water, and pain in the ass. We don't do nuggets in space for the most part. It's just all robots. But welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're having a good day. How many more shipments do I have coming up here? 4 more left. Good. I'm just going to wait for these shipments to come in, and we'll start getting the terraforming process going on. Start getting my unobtainium. I guess I can get the cracker thing too. Don't really need that, but yeah. Doing good over here. That's great that I found that picking a very small lake, it means that I don't need many chemicals to fill it up. It's just kind of it's enough to get the whole thing processed and get enough in storage, but I really don't need that much usage of the hydro collider. As you can see, it's already full, and it just spits out enough to keep this lake full. So sometimes a smaller lake is better, especially when you're starting. And like on the lava planet, definitely a smaller lake. You have to start with that, where if you pick just something with a few thousand units of water in it or lava in it, you can get rid of the lava really fast. But if you're picking a major 25k lake or whatever it is, it's really hard to overcome that immediately. And what I'm going to do as well is, because I'm running a robot, I can put it in extreme mode, and all he needs to do is recharge faster, and he's right next to the spaceship that'll recharge. So that's my perpetuating cycle. That's the reason I went kinetic generation for these run-throughs, is because when you get into space, you put a nuggetoid in a kinetic generator, and you got energy for everything you need. So yeah, now it's just a waiting game of getting some materials in so I can extract all the unobtainium. Thank you for the points. Yeah, and as we're doing that, we can kind of go around and fill up lakes. Find the ones that need it the most. It's like no water on this moon. Crazy. I mean, it's a kind of a good thing in order to get everything terraformed quickly, but those are very, very small plots. But we're halfway to oxygen. I need another park. I have the materials for it. Trade vessel coming in. That should allow us to get these unobtainium patches rocking and rolling. A slow trickle in, but I think we've done a pretty fast turnaround of this planet already. Oh, my nuggetoids are getting all their supplies for stuff. Hopefully that becomes one of the priorities, is getting them into there. They're gonna rock this stuff out, no problem. Got 581 stone. But thankfully I've disabled it in the storage. It's just gonna sit on the ground and dissipate. I don't need them storing anything that I'm not gonna use. Alright, so that gives me, I'm only a few thousand away from having full lakes on this, so let's go around and get the rest of these lakes hit. 9%, 93. One. Okay, that means I do need to sign an engineer, finally. I still have one laborer to do some stuff, but how many more shipments? I'm gonna save before I go into that screen again. And 2 more shipments, and then I'll see what I need to balance that out. I'll probably need more fuel and chemicals and steel. Right now we're kind of getting a little stockpile. The fuel is going to be the issue right here. I do have more ships though, because I've already sent all my nuggets back. So how much more fuel can I get up here? 40. I'll do that twice to free that stuff up, and chemicals will be the next shipment after that. Yeah. Minus 0.8. Yeah, I know. Everything's falling apart because I waited too long to sign engineers, but that's fine. That nuggetoid will kick some ass. Trade vessel coming in, almost full on water. And after the water, I'll try and accumulate, another 1,000 points. I'll just throw 1,000 CP worth of trees down as well. That's going to help get us closer to oxygen, get us closer to, not that we need it particularly, but I do like having a planet terraformed, and we're starting to get ready. Like in the future, we will have nuggets on all these planets, but not until we're like super established throughout the universe. Okay. Fuel getting chucked in here. The next one, do I have? I've got 1 shipment of each, so that way I'm going to start throwing a whole bunch of chemicals and a whole bunch of stuff that we need over here next. Yeah, chems and steel beams are going to be the next priorities after the fuel. And I'd like to get all these unobtainium extractors rocking pretty fast. I'll save this one way over here until I have a few more nuggetoids on the planet. So once we produce, I don't know, 5 more at least, I'll send those up. That way we have laborers. And the beauty part about it is a nuggetoid can go over here, they'll build this thing, they'll come back and recharge, and then drop off supplies. And they're not going to die on that distance. They don't need water reservoirs and food all this way. So I think really it's the best way to go. Time flies when you're having fun, so I got about 15 more minutes and then I'm going to call it. Trees are coming in, that's good. Got 55 whole trees. See. Hopefully they don't cut them all down. Next shipment should be arriving shortly. That's the beauty part about the moon as well, is it's so close to Mother Planet that, you know, as soon as you ask for it, give it a couple minutes and it's there. Got all those coming in. I do want to make sure that I have seen a glitch as well, where sometimes I'll lose like a few thousand of something that I've been building up the entire time, and if that happens, then I have to reload. Keep an eye on it. But recently, it's been pretty good. Okay, so that's trade shipment dropping off there. That one coming in. Fuel, and the next one I need to order after this guy takes off. Should be everybody, right? Yeah, okay. Now let's go with chemicals. Just get 160 odd chemicals over here for now. And then that'll help all these guys get running, because they are still just waiting on, yeah, that's the only thing that we're waiting on right now. I'll try and balance that out. Terraform is doing good, slowly adding trees into the thing. After I get those chemicals, I shouldn't need anything really else on the planet. Maybe planks and bricks, because I need to keep building parks. So we'll wait for those 2 shipments. That should give me enough materials to run all of these down into 0. It'd be nice if there was like a hack where you could, like, I don't know, earthquake the unobtainium apart or something like that, but I don't think there is. Let's get water going on. Make sure all my lakes are at 100%. Yeah, that should do it for water. Trade vessel coming in. Gonna make one more lap around the sun there, and then what else am I gonna need? I'll probably need more fuel, a little bit more fuel, and steel beams after that. And then once I get like an army of nuggetoids, everything goes so much faster. Just everything is just done. You know, I can basically get a planet terraformed within half an hour or so. And because the moon is sort of like the starter planet and it's sort of easy, usually 1 terraformer will do it. But when I get to a lava planet, I'll have 4 terraformers down, because each one is 6 degrees difference of temperature a month, Celsius. And so if I have, you know, 4 of them down, that's like a 24-degree change, and we can get most of the hot and cold planets terraformed super fast. Okay, so we got all our fuel. Fuel is running on that one, and fuel is running on that one. All 3 unobtainium extractors that are close to us are working. Terraformer is doing its thing, as you can see. Accumulating points now. I have full water. Let's I'll accumulate up to 1,000 points there. By that time, we should have a few more unobtainiums. Plant a whole bunch of trees down and try and get this oxygenated. And then I'll try and go back to Mother Planet, and hopefully it doesn't freeze again. But that'll probably where I end the stream, is basically we get back to Mother Planet, it's not broken. They ate those chemicals in a hurry. Dropped off 88 of them, and they're all gone already. Got the next shipment coming in. Another 88. I'm not sure where they go really, you know. If I have 20, 30, 40, 50, I don't know where they put, I guess, and then yeah, 60 there, 70. All right, maybe it makes sense. Okay, that trade vessel came in. That'll drop off another 88 chemicals. Running out of fuel as well, so I'll do a split load here. Got one more coming in. Shouldn't. That one's gone. Heading back home. More routes traded. So do 4 chemicals and the other 4 with fuel. Let's do that another 2 times. All these are rocking. We should be pretty good. Right now, currently, that's my only source of energy. I'm doing plus 40 on this. And, well, the kinetic generator as well is helping, but this technically makes a solar panel. Slowly building that battery up. Not super tons of it, but with the extreme mode on the kinetic generator and that nuggetoid just going back and forth, charging and going back to work, it works really, really well. And because we're not doing any rocks, like all my rocks and stones have disappeared as opposed to being stored. So it's something I don't have to worry about as long as I don't store them. Yeah, they've slowed down on their chemical intake because everything is full, has all its reserves met. This one will be the next one stocked up. That one's got reserves met, and so does that one. Good. Getting nice and green. Trade vessels arriving again. Two unobtainium so far. Yeah, I'll just wait for to get to 1,000 points here. Plant a bunch of trees here, and then I'll leave. And so the nuggetoids can't keep chopping them down, hopefully. And next we're probably going to need... That's pretty much all we really do need on the planet is stuff that's going to keep the unobtainium extractors going and the hydro collider. I think building another reservoir would probably be smart money too, so we can store more water. How many more builder bots? Yeah, we used all our builder bots just to get this thing started fast. That reservoir up and running. I think 930 points is going to be fine enough. Let's get some forestation going on. Trade vessels coming in. That should top us off for all our materials. Okay, so we're pretty self-sufficient here. I can always check on the map of this. So, fingers crossed. Let's go back to Mother Planet. See what it does and then call it a day for this stream. Come on, baby. You can do it. I'm gonna get all the gas mines and oil mines. Have no resources left to extract. Message here. We'll see. You can do it. Do it. And yeah, we're back. Good. Oh yeah, everything's gonna go space age roads now. Where's it gonna start? It's like it's doing it, but it's not. That's weird. Okay, well, with that being said, I'm gonna stop that here. What's going on over here? What's happening here? Oh, yeah, we're going space age everything. Right. So say goodbye to modern age, but I'm gonna leave that for another stream. So now we are... That's my solution to when this freezes, is just go to a different planet. Save that, and we will pick this up a little later. Thank you everybody for watching, and I appreciate all the support and the boot knocking, and I will see you later. Have a good day.